Angela, I'm removing you off of live stream right now as far as like being shown. It's not necessary. Same thing with everyone else on communications, but you should still be able to talk. And then if you could notice, there's a little window that says private chat. So if you need to say anything, you can just type in something there, and only we could see it. So let's see here. Ross, do you want to start? We don't need to do the Jeremy Irons video right now just because it's too long, but we could do the countdown. Can you click the countdown? And then it immediately goes to me or whatever speakers I want to be shown first. Ross, I just sent you forwarded you Chris's email. Can you open all those up into I think 5 different tabs?
One sec. I don't think did I get it? I think there's content in this email, Phil.
Okay. I'll just use do it on my part. So first off, we're gonna have Deanna and Howard speak. Howard, how do you want to do the videos?
I think that outline that I laid out for you, we would start off with the, let me pull up the outline, I guess. I still want to do, as you're suggesting, I think for everybody, we would still do the introduction of ourselves, right? Hi, I'm so-and-so. I'm the director of the Jaguar program. And then on the video, let's see where I placed that. On the video, I didn't put any timing on this, but under number 3, that's the Glenn Close video. So I don't know if you want me to, give you a signal, or if you have to cue it, or I have to cue it. I don't know this software, so
sure. Ross will cue that up. I asked him to open up this the video. I uploaded them to YouTube as private videos, so only Ross and I could see it. So when you say can we see the video, Ross can cue that up.
Okay, great. So I can specifically say, let's see the Jaguar Corridor video, and then Ross will put it up. Okay, yes. All right, great. So if that's the sequence you want to do, then that sounds fine to me. That's just like saying, okay, next, and that's simple, I'm trying to get my head around this. Old dog, new tricks, Phil. So
I'm changing the view right now, so it's just me and Howard. Deanna, do you want to join in too somehow? Okay, well, there's Deanna.
Okay, there we go. So for her video, we've got 2 things we got to figure out here. She's going to have a map of Mexico Jaguar distribution. I'm going to have a range-wide map of Jaguar distribution, and then we both have videos that we want to play. So let's deal with the videos first. I've got the Glenn Close video. Ross has got it. I'll simply say, let's go to the video, and then Ross will play it. Then it'll come back to me. And I'll be referring to that video and then putting slides up. And then I then, let's see, Deanna, can you hear me? Are you there?
Hey, Howard, I can hear you and I can see you, but I can't access my video. But yeah, I'm
Okay.
hearing everything. Can you guys hear
Okay,
me?
good. Okay. So looking at, yeah, I can hear you. We can hear you. So then, Deanna, your video, if you look at that outline that I sent you, your video is at, now I can't find it. Can you see it? Is it number 7 in the outline?
It's no, it's not. It's in number 6 at the very end. After we talk about the legal quarter recognition, then comes the video.
Ah, gotcha. Okay. So you will likely do the same thing. You'll say, let's watch the corridor video. And Ross then will queue up your video, right, Phil?
Okay.
Yeah, do you want to do a practice run? So hey, welcome to Panthera TV. We are currently in the middle of the spring campaign, the Wild at Heart Spring 2022 campaign. And with me today are Dr. Howard Quigley and Deanna Friedberg. How you guys doing? Would you like to introduce yourselves?
Good. Yeah. Thanks, Phil. I'm the executive or senior director of the Jaguar program at Panthera, and I'm happy to be here today to talk a little bit about Jaguars.
Great. Deanna?
Hi, everyone. I am Deanna Friedberg. I am the director of Panthera Mexico, and I'm thrilled to be here as well.
So I think before we get started, we start giving a little bit of an overview of some of the basics of Jaguar conservation and the Jaguar Corridor Initiative. Let's go ahead and watch the Glenn Close video as a starter.
Okay, so Phil, on this, so do I have to share screen on this, or are we going to
Share
upload?
screen. So if you look in the thing, there's a thing that says share screen and share Chrome tab. There we go.
In the past 50 years alone, jaguars have lost more than half of their entire range. Their wild habitats transformed to meet the needs of people, hunted heavily in the 60s and 70s for their gorgeous skins, and now more so by people who are trying to protect their livestock. Jaguars are on the run. Despite all of this, jaguars still remain in 18 countries from Mexico to Argentina, covering an enormous 4.5 million square kilometers. They span such an extensive range because they move beyond protected areas, across rivers and canals, over hills and mountain passes, even through developed areas, in search of food, space, and safety, in order to breed and to pass their genes into their future. And it is in this connectivity between protected areas that can secure their long-term survival. Created in 1999 by Panthera's CEO, Dr. Alan Rabinowitz, the Jaguar Corridor Initiative is now the most comprehensive and transformative carnivore conservation strategy in the world. In the Brazilian Pantanal, Panthera has recently partnered with Rainforest Trust to secure a conservation ranch. The goal? To create the largest working model for how people, livestock, and jaguars can coexist. Panthera knows jaguars. Rainforest Trust knows how to protect land. A winning formula to protect jaguars across their entire range. The Pantanal is 98% privately owned, where an astounding 8 million head of cattle are being raised, making it a hotbed for conflict with big carnivores. Helping people understand these big cats, preventing jaguars from preying on livestock, and delivering benefits to the local community through schools, healthcare, ecotourism, or assistance with animal husbandry is central to what Panthera is doing in the Pantanal. And it works. Since 2007, jaguars have increased from 4 individuals to today over 32, with 10 resident males and numerous females who are successfully raising cubs. This is what recovery looks like. With jaguars on the rise, ecotourism has followed, with people coming from all over the world to see this mysterious cat, which is only possible here in the Pantanal. Jaguars have evolved over millions of years. They are resilient. They are survivors. But now their future relies on us, and we have the information to create a world in which both people and jaguars can thrive.
Oh, that was great.
Great. Yeah. Then I'll roll into a little more description of the range, what we're doing to save them, blah blah blah. And so I won't go into that now. But if you want to do a test of Deanna's video, then I would roll right from my map. So I would put up 2 different maps, probably 3 different maps, I think, Phil. And then I would roll into, I would say something to the effect that, and for now, I've given you a range-wide introduction. Now I'd like to reintroduce Deanna Friedeberg to really drill down on what we're doing in the country of Mexico, one of the most important countries for jaguar conservation. And then I'd turn it over to Deanna.
Then send me the maps, and then I'll have Ross queue those up because we could share the screen there, and
Okay.
maybe we could also talk while the maps are on the screen.
Okay, that was my question. Yeah, so I send you all the maps, and then we'll do them in sequence, and I'll just say next or next or next, right? Okay, all right, great.
Deanna, do you want to introduce your video?
Yeah, just a question. So are you gonna send him the Mexico map too, Howard, or should I send him that? Like, should I be?
Yeah, there's 3 different ones. Maybe you ought to send the one that you prefer, I guess, just so you get the map up that you want. I'm thinking the corridor map that shows all of Mexico. If you want a more detailed map of the Yucatan, then send him 2 maps if you want.
Sure. What I'll do is I will prepare everything for you, Ross, as far as the tabs that you need to share in sequential order of every guest. So, it'll be more streamlined for you.
All right, good.
Okay, great. So then I'll have the corridor map out, and I'll say this is Mexico. These are the JCUs we've identified, the corridors connecting them. And we've been working mostly in the Yucatan Peninsula because of this and this and this and this. And these are the type of projects that we do. And lately, we're super excited because we're now finally going to gain legal corridor recognition. And it's the first time in the country this has happened, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Please play our corridor video.
Cue the video.
I don't know if you guys are able to talk. Well, he's saying,
I can hear you.
okay, so we can talk. So
You see the video kind of pixelated, or is it just me?
I mean, it's the nature of a live stream because we're broadcasting to many people, so it just might be a little bit. It might be a little bit pixelated. Anna, if you want to talk anything while
You could always turn the music down, and you could talk over that. While people are reading the Spanish. And for those of you who didn't know it, last week when Phil was in Mexico with us, he was speaking Spanish fluently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I think.
I don't know, Deanna. It's up to you, really. That's if we want to get through to more of the audience, we could always tone down the music, and you could speak about Bolombe and being able to have the first designated corridor in all of Mexico.
I would actually prefer to talk about it before the video and not talk over the video, because I feel like it's a little, I don't know, confusing. At least for me, like when I watch a video and I'm reading and I'm trying to listen, and I don't know, maybe, yeah, the point is it's in Spanish and not in English. But I think if I explain what it's saying before it plays, then it's just looking at, wildlife and forests and.
Yeah, up to you. That's fine.
I don't understand why my video doesn't work. Maybe after this, you can help me, Phil, because it was working fine when we did the other run the other day, and I just can't get it to work.
It might be your internet connection, and it might be what is that? It might be just have to restart your computer.
Okay.
Right.
Nico is on the call, so he only has like 15 minutes left. So if you guys don't mind, we'll go in order tomorrow, but just because for this practice run, we will we'll let Nico go because Nico go next just because that's the run. So Howard, Deanna, I know you guys have more to talk about, and we'll definitely elaborate more tomorrow and you'll have longer time, but let's just see what Nico has to say. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you, Phil.
Thanks, Phil. Bye.
Bye. Oh.
Hey, Phil. Hey, Howard. How are you? Hello.
Hola.
Hola.
How you doing, Nico? Thank you for joining us.
Good to know you, finally.
I know. Outside of a all staff meeting. So tell us a little about yourself. What you do here at Panthera.
Well, I'm part of the Puma program. I joined Panthera in last year in July. My job here in the Puma program is to be the conservation scientist, and I'm also the project coordinator of a new collaboration between Panthera and one estancia who is located in southern Chile, in Patagonia, close to Torres del Paine, where we are starting a collaborative project for the coexistence between livestock ranching and Puma conservation.
That's great.
So my role there will be to be like the bridge in between the two organizations and coordinate all the activities of Panteras inside this ranch and other ranches outside the surrounding Torres del Paine.
That's awesome. I hear that we're partnering up with Foundation Cerro Guido.
Yeah.
So tell us a little about our partnership with them.
Well, this partnership started the last year, and the idea, this is a very traditional estancia who is located just is neighbor of the National Park of Torres del Paine. And this used to be a very traditional estancia who used to raise sheep and cows. And the way they they had issues with pumas for several years since they started. And the usual way that they deal with this problem of the depredation from the pumas to the sheep before was to kill the pumas, to persecute the pumas and kill them. And since 2019, this estancia is starting to see another way of doing ranching. They tried to reshape the way they were doing the ranching there, and they started to do this coexistence project where the idea is to keep the ranching activities, they keep the culture in Patagonia, and the culture of ranching is very deep into the local DNA of the people. So this is a very important part of the local people. So the idea of the estancia is to maintain this culture of the gauchos, of the sheep, of the horses, but also helping to the conservation of the local environment. Starting with the pumas, who is the animal who is more like related with the with the livestock ranching activity. So the way we are working with now is working with guard dogs.
Oh.
We are using two breeds of dogs, Marema and Pirineo Mountain, and starting also to with some deterrents, and we are starting to use fox lights.
That's great. That's awesome.
Mhm.
I hear that you have a book coming out.
Yeah, I also have a book. The book was well, it took a very long time to have it because we had the pandemic in the middle. But finally, in January this year, the book was released at last, and I starting now to for the distribution of the book here, mostly here in Chile. I'm trying to figure out how to distribute the book also internationally.
Mm-hmm.
But the book is brand new. It's the first copy has arrived only a couple of months ago. So the idea is of the book is to have two main objectives. One of them is to obviously to serve as an outreach activity for to get people closer to the life of pumas, to the biology, ecology, the natural history of pumas. But also the 100% of the money raised from the book will go straight for the conservation projects we are developing in Patagonia, in all these areas surrounding Torres del Paine, the ranches who are adjacent to the park. So the idea is to for this money from the book to come back to the same place where the book was created in Patagonia.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Nico, if you have any visuals you want to share, just send email to me, and then we could also have that. If you want a cover of the book, would be great.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, if there's videos you want to share, just let me know, and then we could, like we did with Howard, we could just do that too. Okay, this is part of the interview process. Where can people buy your book?
Why people will want to buy the book?
No, where could they buy your book?
Where? Well, this far is only here in Chile.
Okay.
We have a couple of libraries. Maybe I can send you the link of one of the libraries where they are actually doing international shipping, but this far is very expensive to ship outside of Chile. So yeah, there is a chance to have the book, but it's expensive. So that's why we are dealing now how to distribute the book in the US, mainly inside the US and then internationally in Europe, in the Northern Hemisphere.
That's awesome. It's definitely worth the price for sure. 100%.
Yeah, maybe I can show you a copy of the book tomorrow. I can send you some pictures of the inner pages.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Just email to me and Ross, and then we'll cue that up as far as like visuals, like accompanying visuals to this live stream.
You want me to send you like separated the visuals, some pictures of the book, and some other pictures of the collaborative project with Cerro Guido?
I think we could do that. We could do a cover of the book. Just send me a cover of the book. As an image, and then also anything with our partner over there, that'd be great too.
Okay, I can send you some pictures of pumas, of the dogs, of fox.
If you're going to talk about the dogs, we could definitely let me write that down. We could definitely have an image of dog, because like we do have a lot of dog lovers on joining in, so yeah.
Yeah, because everything will be like 15 minutes, no?
About 15 minutes, yeah. But then again, I've been telling everybody, if you talk longer, if you talk shorter, do not feel restricted about the time.
Okay.
Yeah. Dogs in. All right. I know you have to leave, Nico. So thank you again for joining this practice run.
Thank you.
We'll definitely talk tomorrow for sure.
Perfect. And one last question: in terms of the logistics, you will send me this same kind of link. I enter the link, and then you just in.
So if everyone could hear me, we're not going through Teams. We are going directly through this Restream.io app. So perfect. I will send a link tomorrow for sure to everybody.
Okay.
Mhm.
But yeah, awesome. All right, Nico.
See you tomorrow then.
For sure.
Thank you.
Our next guest is Chris, Dr. Chris Everett. How you doing?
Hi, Phil. Good. Thanks. Right on. Yeah. So with this one, if we're, we should start, or maybe, I mean, I don't mind introducing myself first, but then the first thing we should probably do is then get into that video, because that gives a nice overview of the Senegal Lion Project, which is what I'll be talking about.
Do you want to introduce the video? Like,
sorry?
Do you want to introduce the video and just give us a little bit of?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, I'll just say, I'll just introduce myself quickly. You know, hi, I'm Chris Everett, and I'm a Panthera scientist. I work on Mount Cougars, Pumas, and lynx in Canada, but I'm also helping out with the West African Lion Project. And so the West African lion is a critically endangered subspecies of lions. And so this is it's a very important project. And I'm really excited and honored to be able to be part of it. And so we have a video here that kind of will give a brief overview of Panthera's West African Lion Project, which is based in Niokolo-Koba National Park in Senegal. It's narrated by the program director, Dr. Philip Henschel, who's kind of he's a conservation legend and in Africa. And this was really his baby, this program that he developed, this project. And so, yeah, we can start with that, cue that, learn a little bit about the lions of West Africa and Niokolo-Koba National Park in Senegal.
NGO Panthera. We're here today, everybody. I'm Philip Henschel, the Western Central Africa Regional Director for Conservation NGO Panthera. We're here today in the Niokolo-Koba National Park in Senegal, which is West Africa's second largest national park at 9,000 square kilometers. This park harbors one of only 4 lion populations remaining in West Africa, and it also harbors West Africa's very last population of African wild dogs and the last population of the western giant eland. We first came here in 2011 to assess the status of the lion population and found that, shockingly, only 10 to 15 individuals survived in this park. This is when we took the decision to come back to this park with the Park Support Program to help the local park authorities, DPN, to conserve the lions in this park and all the other species better, and to restore the populations to carrying capacity of the system.
The Lion Recovery Fund, or LRF, was one of the first donors in this endeavor and has accompanied us since then.
Through LRF work that we were able to expand from the project pilot area, which covered about 25% of the park, to the remainder of the park, and add 2 permanent patrol teams that we now fund and that are really in this park 24/7 to get the poaching under control. We started with 10 to 15 individuals. We now think that there are about 40 individuals in the park. Last year, our field teams recorded 5 breeding females, and so there's good population recovery at the moment. We really hope that this trend continues and that we can restore the lion population of this fantastic park to carrying capacity. We believe this park could harbor 200 to 250 lions, and this is really just possible to achieve with your support, with the support of the LRF.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a great video. Yeah, and then I can follow that up. I can just talk a little bit about, just elaborate on the conservation status of West African lions, or kind of, you know, reiterate the fact that it's a critically endangered population. This is one of only 4 subpopulations, and then talk about my role within the project is to assist with the development of a lion monitoring project within the larger conservation program, and the reason for that is, you know, the program is focused on wildlife protection and helping assisting the government in developing and recovery of the park and recovery of the wildlife populations. But a key component of that is monitoring populations, and so including the lions, which we're kind of using as both a flagship species and also, I mean, they're apex predator, so they're a keystone species as well. And so part of what I've been doing is I'm going there and assisting with the GPS collaring. And so I can kind of describe the process of the GPS collaring project, where we're at with that, and I can spend easily 10 minutes talking about that.
And the images you sent,
sorry,
the images you sent, where would they live on this live stream?
Yeah, maybe what I'll do is I'll just give you I'll order them. I'll put them in order for you.
Okay.
And I can and they can go on while I'm talking about. Maybe I'll even send a few more. And so, because what I'll do is, I think I'd like to spend a few minutes just describing the point of the GPS collaring project, and then sort of a little bit about it, and then I've got that little story about how it ended this year, where we got to save a lion, and so there's a couple of pictures of that process there as well, of the vet working on it. And
is that what you sent me via email?
That I just emailed you there. Yeah.
Okay, so then
I'll send you a note as to what order to put them in, and you can just have them going on through while I'm talking.
I mean, do you want me to create a slideshow?
Sure.
Because that could be easier.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, a slow slideshow.
All right.
Well, I'll send you a few more pictures, and you can make it a little bit.
Sounds good.
But all right, that sounds good. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So I think we're going through this pretty. I know it's not like 15, 30 minutes each per person, but at least I think we all have a basic idea about what we're going to be talking about, which is good.
Yeah.
So, Chris, thank you so much. I'm going to introduce now Kelly. Kelly is our lead content strategist with the communications team. How are you doing, Kelly?
Hi, everyone. Doing well. Nice to be here.
So you're going to introduce our next guest.
Great. So I'm thrilled to introduce my colleague, Wai-Ming Wong. He goes by Ming. He is located in New York, and he's the director of our Small Cats program. And I'm very excited to speak with him today. Hi, Ming.
Hello, everyone. Hi. Yeah, I haven't really rehearsed these questions yet because it's kind of just landed on my desk. But my name is Ming, and I'm the director of the Small Cat program at Panthera, where we lead the strategic direction for the world's 33 small cat species that are across the globe.
Sorry, it's muted. Great to have you here. And I understand our Small Cats program is fairly new, around 3 years. Is that right?
Yeah, Panthera Small Cat program was officially launched at the end of 2018. So we've been going strong now for about 3 years. But prior to that, Panthera's involvement within small cat conservation has been through one of our really great grant programs called the Small Cat Action Fund, which has been supported by one of our board members since can't remember the exact date, 2008, and to date, we've granted over $500,000 to candidates all over the world on various species. I'll tweak those numbers a little bit and kind of get some solid numbers for small cats and the exact amount that we have invested.
Thank you. That's great. So I'd love to talk a little bit about our work in Borneo. I know it's a biodiversity hotspot, home to 5 wild cats. Can you please tell us a little bit about that project, how it's been going?
Yeah, Borneo is a really unique landscape. It's a region that we haven't had much work in because across Borneo, there aren't any large cats. There aren't tigers or leopards that you may find in the neighboring islands in Sumatra and Java, for example. So the small cats there are the apex predators. They're the top of the food chain. And relatively little is known about the 5 Bornean cat species out there, particularly the flat-headed cat and the endemic Bornean bay cats. Virtually nothing is known about these species. We have very little kind of images and detections of these species. And so we're implementing very large-scale and novel camera trap surveys that will allow us to estimate kind of benchmark baseline estimates for these species that will help us gauge whether or not the conservation interventions that we are implementing are effective or not. And it will also give us really good scientific information about their habitat requirements and distribution. And all these fundamental ecological information is critical for the formulation of effective conservation strategies aimed at these species. Yeah, I'll continue. I'll talk a little bit more about kind of the site security stuff that we have going on there, the community engagement stuff that we have going on there as well. I see that all the other speakers have some really cool visuals. So I was wondering if we could use this time to potentially flash up some professional photography that we have from Sebastian. I think we have some professional images of clouded leopards, marble. In fact, of all of them apart from the flat-headed cat, but we have camera trap data that we could potentially use as well. So that would be some nice visuals to add to this section if possible.
Send that to me and Ross, and then we could key that up.
You should have that in the DAM system. I don't have access to that anymore. So all of that is in the DAM.
So let me know which cats you want particularly, and then we'll pull it up.
Yep. Okay, great.
Do you want the 5 small cats in Borneo or kind of general? Okay.
No, yeah, we'll do that. Because we're talking about Borneo, so we'll flash up those.
Right.
We don't have many other professional photographs. Those are the bulk of other ones. So it'll be the 4 professional photographs of all of them apart from flat-headed cat, which we have a camera trap photo somewhere.
Okay, I have that list of cats. I'll send that to Phil, and I can help them. Maybe we'll just put together a really simple slideshow just so it can run while we're speaking. Good idea.
Great. Thank you.
All right, and then moving on, I wanted to talk a little bit about data. I know you've mentioned your colleague, small cat data scientist, Jolene Broadfield, has spent much of the past year poring over data collected from more than 20,000 Panthera camera traps in 38 countries to create a global database. Definitely a huge undertaking. So I'd love to hear a little bit about that process and how those learnings will be shared with partners and kind of across the conservation space.
Sure. So camera traps is one of the key tools for conservation. It allows us to have our eyes in the forest and collects a lot of data, depending on how long they're deployed in certain sites. And so before, when the Panthera small cat program was officially launched, we focused on the 7 big cats. And across there, having developed our very own Panthera camera trap, we were able to deploy thousands and thousands of cameras across these species programs, project sites, and geographies. And so, we and within that, very little of the data was used. Normally, it's the big cat data and their prey, and then kind of everything else kind of gets pushed aside. And what we realized is that we were sitting on huge amounts of historical data for small cats and their prey as well, from key landscapes. And so one of the key responsibilities for Jolene, who's our fantastic small cat data scientist, is to kind of mine a lot of this historic data and get it managed and processed within our data management system called Panthera IDS to create the foundation of a global small cat database. Small cats are they're poorly understood. We don't know much about their population numbers, trends, where they are, their distribution, and all that sort of stuff. And all this information can be gleaned from camera trap data. And so we want all of this uploaded into this global database where we can then start to interrogate the data. We can analyze the camera trap data to determine population numbers of, say, for example, ocelots back in 2012. And that will give us, again, a benchmark estimate for us to measure against. So Jolene's working through that at the moment, working through a huge amount of data and getting that processed into into our softwares. But at the same time, with the small cat program being relatively new, we've been very proactive in implementing new surveys in new areas. And so all of that is, again, under kind of Jolene's responsibility to manage all that data and get it uploaded, to create this global vision of where small cats are, how many there are in whatever landscape they're in, and essentially just give us this visual of, what we want to know about a certain species. We can query that, and all the detections will pop up, and we'll know more about those species. And so it's definitely a work in progress. But the small cat global database is certainly a priority for us, as well as other small cat organizations. So this initiative would be hugely helpful, not just for Panthera, but for small cats and many other researchers.
That's great. Yeah, very exciting. It sounds like it'll be a huge contribution to small cat research everywhere. And so, yeah, you've mentioned, we work with quite a few partners around the world. They're really instrumental in helping further our work and impact. Could you speak about one of those partners, maybe how we've, been mutually beneficial and supported each other?
Sure. I mean, so partnerships with local government, NGOs, and local communities is absolutely critical to any successful conservation projects. We can't be the only ones on the ground. It's very much a holistic approach to conservation. The local government provides us with the permits and the accessibility into study areas and sites. Local NGOs may already have some of those permits and other kind of paperwork in place that will, again, allow us the partnership on the ground and get cameras and get law enforcement patrols off the ground, for example. And then, of course, the local communities. I mean, these are the ones that benefit the most from conservation. So it's really important to involve them in projects as well. And so a lot of this, Borneo comes to mind. I mean, again, we've spoken about that in previous questions, but it is one of our flagship projects that addresses a number of our priority species. And so there's it's a really complete picture of conservation where we work with the local government, which is the Sabah Forestry Department. They provide us with office space. They allow us access into these areas. And we're also able to kind of leverage on some of their capacity as well. We work with their on-site law enforcement rangers who have jurisdiction to make arrests on the ground, for example, and we also work with their local scientists. And there's a lot of kind of cross-education here where we can help train them in patrolling techniques. We can help train them in kind of camera trap deployment and data collection and analysis. So that's really great. But also within Sabah, there are a number of local NGOs. And Sabah is a great kind of model for conservation because all these local NGOs talk to each other. They actually communicate and collaborate. And each NGO has their different focus. Within Sabah and indeed across Borneo, there are other priority species, orangutans, elephants, rhinos even. And so each of these NGOs has their own piece within that. But ultimately, it's all part of the same result in terms of conserving the habitats and the wildlife that live in these areas. And so we collaborate with these NGOs to understand where we fit and how we can kind of help leverage each other to reach our goals.
That's great. Yeah, definitely sounds like partners are instrumental to our work, and I'm glad we're sharing learnings widely. And then let's see. I think you mentioned in Borneo, it's a unique situation because small cats are actually the apex predators there, unlike in much of the world where the bigger cats kind of are top of the food chain. But yeah, would love to hear about how big cats typically interact with small cats in places outside of Borneo when they are in the same habitats.
Yeah, no, that's a super good question and really interesting one as well. One that we are, still finding out a lot of information. For example, in India, it's been shown that tigers can push out leopards to the marginal areas. And we're seeing in other places in northeast India, for example, in the Manas landscape, there has been quite a significant increase in tiger populations as a result of some of the work that we've done there as well as our partners. And what we've seen is that this increase in tigers in the area has resulted in a decrease in detections for clouded leopards in the area. And, we're confident that clouded leopard populations aren't decreasing because we've implemented a number of very effective conservation interventions, particularly kind of site security, patrolling, monitoring, and all those aspects. So it's likely that these tigers, as these populations increase, the clouded leopards are perhaps more arboreal in that region, and so therefore they're more dependent on the trees. They spend more time in the trees, and therefore less detectable on camera traps. So yeah, and there are other examples that I'll need to kind of think about and write down. But yeah.
Sounds good, thank you. And then tomorrow I'll check if we have questions from social media. And yeah, question for Phil: Will Ming be able to see those too, or will Ross kind of be feeding?
I think Ross, possibly Angela, and possibly Susie will field any questions you get from social media, and you could either, you guys could either Slack it to us, or use this private chat that's in this window. So just keep that in mind.
Okay, I saw it. Ming did a live session with Jamie, and I liked that he was like looking at comments and responding in real time. This is a different platform, so I can try to just like feed in questions.
So yeah.
I'll try to keep an eye on that. And but if we don't have questions from social media, I'll maybe just ask like, what's one thing you want people to know about small cats, or something kind of simple like that. But definitely, if you have any other, things that you think our listeners might want to hear about, happy to, adapt these questions.
Sounds good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, thank you. No, I think the questions are great. They're perfect. I appreciate that one change. Again, I only requested that change because we have Nico talking a lot about Patagonia, so I just wanted to kind of mix it up a little bit and kind of showcase our work in Borneo.
Definitely, yeah. Thanks for that suggestion.
Sorry, that's my dad. Ming.
Thank you. Sorry, and then that was my question. Should I? I'll thank Ming, and then tell everyone, Phil, you're coming back.
Yeah, and then I'll thank both of you, and then I will thank you, Howard. Thank you, Chris. Ming, Deanna, Nico for joining us today, and thank you to all our donors who've donated, contributed so far to this campaign. If you have any questions, and maybe I'll do another tab, Ross, to the website. So just to encourage more donors. But I think this was a decent practice run, especially considering I know we're going to go more than 1 hour. But I hope you guys are all comfortable with this new platform and being on camera and, being broadcast live in front of hopefully many people. So
thousands, an audience of thousands.
Yeah.
I would encourage, I do think that, the kind of interview approach is nice, but Ming has some tremendous visuals. So at some point during that interview, I really do think that if Kelly, if you can cue a series of, it's very common that people can't name more than 4 or 5 small cats of the world. So I think if you had a series of 10 to show at one point while Ming's talking, and another 10 to show at another point with Ming's talking, Sebastian's visuals are very, very good. So if that's possible to still do that before tomorrow.
Yeah.
The other thing that comes to mind is, Chris, I just dropped you a note. I don't know if you could do a data slide that would show points on the map of some of the individuals some of the lions that you collared, but I think that would make it come alive a little bit. So.
Yeah.
We do have the LRF video, Chris, that Kim requested, that I think that shows camera trappings versus I think.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen it.
Poachers. I'll have to look this up, but I could send that to you.
Okay. But I can send like a Google Earth image with all of their movements, or a couple of those, which it's definitely it's interesting for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
whatever.
I mean, if you're
Whatever
You know.
visuals you all need
Yeah.
to send me, just send it to me, and then
All right.
I'll cue this up for you.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to
Kind of make a
keep it.
slideshow.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep it more lively, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, we could have music to the background, I believe, to this if we want to.
yeah, great. Then we can all start dancing, right? Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Again, 9:40 a.m. Eastern time is my quote unquote call time, so we get everything prepared. Other than that, I think this live stream this practice run went fairly smooth, and it'll definitely be better tomorrow. So
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Cool.
thank you guys again.
All
Watch
right.
out.
Thanks, Phil.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Phil.
Kelly.
Thanks,
All
Kelly.
right.
Thanks, Ross.
All right. Bye, guys.
Nice.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See ya.
Thanks.